Bigg Robb.
Yes, sir.
Southern singer. I know it's singer, but we call it singer around up in these parts.
Hey, man, all the glory goes to God. Call me anything but ugly. Best looking fat man in show business, baby. Go live. You know what it is. What's happening?
Hey, Rob, tell him, man. It comes in all shapes and sizes, baby. That's how it goes.
Hey, look here, and big men. First of all, let me move this myth out the way. They talking about this big man season. No, every day is big man season. Ladies, if you ain't got you some big man love, come talk to the BIGGROBB, baby. I got something for you.
It just toot it up when you get there.
Oh my goodness, they gonna do all that, man. And you know, and they gonna make me some turkey bacon and some homemade biscuits and some home fries and some potatoes and some onions and all that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh man, I need that. Hey, that's a good Southern breakfast right there. If you didn't know, whoever watching. So we got a lot of viewers, man. They come from all, like you say, shapes, sizes, colors, jurisdictions, states, cities, hoods, not hoods, suburban, wherever, age groups and everything.
Yes.
A lot of people, like I always tell people, for every 10 people that know me, it's 10 people who don't. So for all the people who don't know who Bigg Robb is, explain to them who Bigg Robb is.
Well, first of all, this spelled capital BIGGROBB. Bigg Robb. There's only one, baby. There's only one. And I've been doing this music thing all my life. Man, I'm an entertainer. I'm a songwriter, a record producer. First and foremost, a child of God, a husband, a father, you know what I mean? Working to be a stronger black man and a better Christian every day, and just trying to make music that makes people feel good, baby. That's the way he is, you know?
Okay. So, well, before we brought you in the comments, I typed in, I said, I get this Bootsy Collins, Bishop Don Juan, like you like the soul singer, pimp type. But not when I say pimp, I mean like the lady slayer, you know, like I don't know. It's just like I get this smooth, my big uncle type of feeling when I see you. And when I heard the music, I'm like, okay, I probably could ride in the deuce. What's that? The deuce with you, man, and lay back in the seat and let you play your music there, you know.
Absolutely, man. Well, you know, I'm an entertainer. I've been, like I say, entertaining all of my life, man. And I like colorful things. I've always been colorful. Just to give you a little bit more brief synopsis about who Bigg Robb is. I was raised in the music business. I was raised by three wonderful people. The first being the late, great Mr. Roger Troutman and the Troutman family. I was a member of a band called Zapp. You all guys know the hit records.
Yes,
Mo Bounce Downs, Computer Love, Do Why Did He, Heard It Through the Grapevine, So Rough, So Tough, I Want to Be Your Man, all that. And so those guys adopted me and brought me into the game.
Wow.
But before I was able to get out and do that with them, there's a gentleman by the name of Bootsy Collins, who was like my big brother and my uncle, and we all come from the same hometown. And he's the first guy who ever just took me into the studio and, you know, kind of just raised me up. So, you know what I mean? So much love and respect for Bootsy Collins and his brother, the late, great Catfish Collins. And then after I got all that dose of entertainment, beating both sides of my head, being colorful and never be boring and all that, I became friends about 3 or 4 decades ago with the Gap Band, whose leader, the late, great Ronnie Wilson, Robert Wilson. Of course, everybody knows Uncle Charlie Wilson, lead singer of the Gap Band. And so just growing up around all those influences, I was always taught, you know what I mean, to never be boring, man, to keep it exciting. And, you know what I mean, I might change hats 2 or 3 times up in here, because you understand what I'm saying. I got to keep it colorful. And if that reminds you of Bishop Don Magic Juan from Chi-Town, that's just because we got them colors. I'm not a pimp. I'm a child of God, but I understand, and I ain't mad about it, because in our hood, when you do colorful things, that's a sign of love. Like, so I don't even take that like in a bad way or nothing. You know what I mean? I understand that. Because if I come down the street with a lime green suit on, I might remind you of Bishop Don Magic Juan. Except mine's would be size 56. 56 completely tailored. You understand what I'm saying?
Oh man.
Fellas, didn't they tell y'all I was coming?
Hey man,
he
told us. He
man,
said,
I got records to sell. My new album is called Fantastic, and it's fantastic. What kind of music you listen to? You need to be listening to some Bigg Robb.
Bigg Robb. So is it safe to say, because you named a couple older cats, and like I said, we got all ages. We even got some younger cats. So you named the Zapp band, you named Raj. So is it safe to say he's the creator of the auto-tune?
No,
No.
like what I do, I use auto tune. T-Pain uses it. A lot of people use it. Migos, Drake, everybody uses it. But Roger Troutman is the quintessential guy who took an instrument called a talk box, which is when you put the plastic tube in your mouth and you got to play the keyboards.
Yep.
And he saw Stevie Wonder doing it. Okay. And then he took it and, got hooked up with Boosie and George Clinton. They made this song called Mo Bounce an Ounce. And Roger took him, pretty much mastered that thing. And that became that sound. But it's actually two totally different kinds of technology. There's also a group from my hometown called Midnight Star. They had a real big record called Freakazoid. And Electricity, that's a thing called a vocoder. And I use all those instruments in my music as well. But yeah, it's a little bit different because with the auto tune, you can just be walking down the street right now. We can click two buttons and you can go to Wendy's and order your food and we can click the button on you and make you sound like that. Whereas with the talk box, you actually have to play a musical instrument into it and the sound comes up through the tube. And when that sound comes up through your tube, you have to maneuver your mouth and, to make the words. Whereas auto tune just takes your natural voice and then just manipulates it electronically. Man, if Roger was still here, he would just be all the way gassed up and excited just to see how his music still lives on and also how technology has grown, how it's, it's just a normal part of the sound of music now. Like when he first started doing it back in the day, with So Rough, So Toughs and Grapevines and all those records that he did it with, people are still kind of like, they don't know. Now, man, everywhere you look, you hear and feel that electronic sound.
I don't care how old you are, Computer Love.
Yep. No matter what Computer Love.
I don't care who you are, even white, black, whatever, Computer Love.
You know Computer Love, I Want to Be Your Man, and California Love.
Yeah.
And Mo Bounce and Ounce, no matter what. And if you mix any of that music that Roger made back in the day with anything, like you guys just playing go-go. So you could take the hottest go-go song, and as soon as you put that, here it come, it just get funkier. Yeah. So
all right. So
yeah, much love and respect for him for being the leader that he was and for teaching me a lot of wonderful things.
And which you had experience with them, playing with them with the Zapp band. But we get back into that because this is strictly, about you. So let's talk about Fantastic. It's coming out.
It's out. It's available where all good music is sold. And what I tried to do was I met a guy. I'd have to give special shouts out to a guy named Mel Waiters. And you guys will know Mel Waiters. He has two great records that everybody know. He got a bunch of great records, but two legendary records. One is Got My Money, Got My Whiskey that everybody line dances to. So whether you're in the DMV in DC or you whether in Tokyo, Japan, everybody does a line dance to Got My Whiskey. And the record I worked with him on is called Let's Go Baby to the Hole in the Wall. Yep. And I was able to take the technology and the things I learned from being a zapper and being Roger's protege and bring it over into the blues world. And then after them records started blowing up, man, I just been going. That was almost 2 decades ago. Now my latest album is called Fantastic, and it's a plethora of all the soul blues music. And you say, well, you might not listen to soul blues. I got a question for you. Do you like Hennessy? You like chicken? You got hot sauce in your refrigerator? You grew up eating bologna sandwiches, and you ever took a piece of bologna and put it in that skillet? You know what I mean? And let it bubble up and then flip it over and put it on 2 pieces of bread and got you some of that cheap jungle juice and drink with it. You'll love Bigg Robb. Anybody like any of that stuff I just mentioned, love Bigg Robb music. That's who I make my music for, is the people who love that. Now, that don't mean that, we can't get down in the suburbs because as you see, we got folks in the suburbs that love us as well. But I make music for the hard-working man and the hard-making woman who might break up with his old lady. And he don't know how to say, baby, I'm sorry. Because he all prideful. So I wrote a song called I Appreciate You. It's on the album. That's what I do, man. I make that grown folks music, baby.
When you in your creative process and you making your music and you're trying to set forth an album, do you say, okay, I want this album to be strictly about this? Or do you just do what's on your heart, what's on your mind, and then when you got all of your work together, you say, okay, let's see what we can pull, and let's just see what we need after that?
Man, I'm old school. So I grew up, to answer your question, I grew up, looking at guys like Stevie Wonder, Michael Jackson, Jackson 5, or whoever it is. Grew up looking at Run DMC. You feel me? And when you would go to the record store, you'd look at that album cover, and whatever that album was called, the music was supposed to sound like the album. So as God gives me these different songs, like Toot It Up, which is just mainly just meant to be some fun. It's like some old school Motown sounding kind of stuff. We up in the record store. We got the booty shaking girls to let you know that we are still in 2021, about to go to 2022. So, you know, but we just having fun with it. And I just try to write songs, man, that make people feel good. And I also try to write songs that, like I say, touch people. You know, on my new single is called Grown Man Shit, which is really, and we don't say the shit on there, but grown man shit. And that's what it is, just saying, you know, I'm a hardworking man. I go to work every day. I don't even know if my woman understands me. She don't understand all it is it take being a black man out here, you know, getting harassed and beat down from the bank to the police department. No matter what, you go to work, your boss messing with you. So I'm trying to write songs that everyday people can relate to. That way they can put me in the car and ride with me, groove to me, and then I can come to your house, your backyard party, your Coliseum, and turn up and we can have a good time.
Rick, go ahead, you got your question?
We got to get you down Lamars.
Where are you talking about?
We got to get you here in Washington, D.C. in Charles County. There's a place called Lamars.
Man, you can't look at, hold, stop. You can't tell, man, you talking to Bigg Robb. You ain't talking to no amateur, man.
I know you know about that place.
Man, look at, you can't tell me about Lamont. I already know about
We got to get you down. I know you know about it. We got to get you down here.
Hey, man, look at, all you got to do is call Lamont up. Me and Lamont had that question, had that conversation right before COVID broke out.
Wow.
Because I came down there, you know, a good friend of mine is Dr. Nick over there.
Yeah, Dr. Nick, yeah.
Oh, right. Oh, that's my main man. And he played a lot of my music. So I came down there. Then he took me to a record store. I can't remember the name of the record store. All I know is that I just did like a pop-up, but 100 people came.
Yeah.
I didn't even know I had no fans like that.
Yes, sir.
I mean, just like we announced it and 100 people came talking about they love me and how much they love my music. So Lamont, because Lamont also be doing that catering and all that stuff.
Exactly.
And he wanted me to come down there. Special shout out to my folks, the Hardaway connection too, because they was trying to get me to come down there. So are we ready? I mean, you know, Bigg Robb has a lot of juke joint, brown liquor house music classics. If I Get Drunk Tonight, Grown and Sexy, Good Love to Make You Cry, Sugar Shack remix. I wrote a song that was recorded by a guy by the name of Bishop Bullwinkle. We got over 100 million views on YouTube. Hell no to the no. So, you know, we got them classics, man. And I'd love to come to Po Monkey. I would love to come to Po Monkey, Rich Monkey, it don't matter. As long as you got a paycheck from me on the stage, let's get it.
Yeah, brother. Me and Dr. Nick, me and Lamont, man, we all tight, man. So
oh man, hey, look at Dr. Nick, man. I know I went to Dr. Nick's house, man, and sit there in the basement, went through his record collection for 4 hours. He's a Smokey Robinson and the Miracles fanatic.
Yes, sir. But we gonna get on. Me and you gonna rap about that later.
Yes, sir.
Coming from that background of music and coming from you where you grew up at, some of the blues singers back then, who did you mimic? Not mimic, but who was one of your favorite back then? You know, growing up, to put you to even help you where you at today.
Oh man, well, let me say this. I grew up in Cincinnati, Ohio, and in the middle of the land of funk. So I wasn't even listening to that. I was like, a lot of folks that might be watching that, like, what they talking about, the blues? I don't listen to B.B. King and them. That old folk stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then I start thinking back to Mama and Daddy. When I was a little kid on Saturday night, Daddy poured a little liquor in a glass and put on Let's Straighten It Out by Lattimore.
Yep.
Right? Sit yourself down, girl, and talk to me. Everybody knew that, right? You know, then they would switch up and play Bobby Blue Bland. And of course, Johnny Taylor, Tyrone Davis.
Yep.
Oh my goodness, man. You know what I mean? The late, great Joe Simon. So those are the guys that, you know, I mean, who I looked up to. But to be honest, I started out, man, I was a funk guy. I'm 2 years ago, a friend of mine asked me to say some MC rhyme. So I said this rhyme. You know what I mean? I'm early hip hop dude at first. But then I got called over into the blues world and I had to learn about it. And I'm still learning about it every day. You know, Denise LaSalle, man, Millie Jackson. I mean, I could name all the greats.
Yeah.
But of course, you know, if I had to pick one, I would say Johnny Taylor, because he was the best of all worlds. He did it, you know, Disco Lady, Running Out of Lives. He just did it all.
Cool. Bishop?
Yeah. So I came up in, I ain't gonna say when I was born, but I came up in the death row era, right? And they took a lot of, they were at that time were the new school. and they took a lot of P-Funk. They took a lot of older guy stuff, redid it, and it was dope to the young people, right? Whole time it's coming from the older generation, but it kept them fresh. It kept them, doing something different. But in reality, it was the hottest thing smoking. So as an older artist, an older music, I would say, connoisseur, how do you keep touch with the younger generation versus how the younger generation back in the day used to keep touch with the older generation?
Well, I'm a parent of three lovely children, and so I listen to them. I watch how they move. I watch how they move. I listen. When they pull up in front of my house, I'm listening to see what they playing, what they bumping out the car. Whether it's the baby, whether it's whatever it is. You got what I'm saying? Like I said, if it's Migos, if it's Rick Ross, if it's Drake, whomever it is, and I listen to that. And for a long time, I've always wanted to include those elements in my music because my three favorite producers are George Clinton, from Parliament Funkadelic, Norman Whitfield, who's the guy who did all the great records, for the Temptations and so many other people, and Dr. Dre. And I also came through that era where you're talking about, with Death Row and all that, because Roger did California Love with Tupac. And then there's also a Zapp and Roger version of of California Love that I actually rapped on back in the day. And we used to perform, like we'd be on HBO or something. You go watch videos, Zapp and Aruba, you'll see us on there performing those songs. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I know exactly what you're talking about, and just trying to see what's going on. And and instead of saying right on soul brother, now the lingo is turned up, or, we in your city or whatever it is, just trying to pay attention. I wrote a song a few years ago called Young Folks Love the Blues. And that's what it is. It just tells a story about how I was out fishing one day and some young cats pulled up on me at the lake, which is a true story. And they were young, 20 years old. They was coming to fishing, some country boys, and they was blasting my music out the car. And I'm like, what y'all know about that? And they're like, oh, we rides too young. And I also try to keep, I always try to keep that 808 and keep those modern tones in my music. Because that's just what it is, because you're as young as you feel. So I'm 54 in age, but man, right now I feel like I'm about 19. So, and I want my music to be able to relate, because then maybe I'll be able to say something to the younger generation and let them know that we do love you. Because we got this hell of a disconnect in our neighborhood right now where the young heads ain't necessarily listening to the old heads. And the young heads, a lot of them are mad at us old heads because they like, man, y'all know how hard it is out here, right? And y'all ain't even laced us up on no real game. Y'all just act like it was somebody else's job to do it. So we've had a disconnect between the old and the young in our community. So I want to make music that has the elements of all of that in it. And hopefully, I don't expect young people to think I'm 21, because I'd look like a damn fool trying to look like I was 21. But at the same time, I put a little bajine in this beard. I do that. But let me tell you something, fellas. Them young girls, they like us old men now. We in style now because the old man can pay your bill. You understand what I'm saying? I didn't say I was going to pay your bills, but
I was about to say that Beijing all good to you on stage, and you get a little sweaty because she got the tooth in it, and you start dripping on her. Yeah.
Oh my God. No, they like that, nephew. That's she gonna wipe all that off, because I didn't gave her enough money on her cash. You have to make sure she gonna wipe that off.
Oh yeah, cash app. Okay then, yeah. So
we ain't that, man. How old are you, Bishop? You sound like you older than me, man. What's happening?
I ain't I come from DC and I learned my lesson. That's all. I'm not 40 yet, but I'm on the way. I got a birthday in 2 weeks, and I'm just glad to be here, man. That's all I would say.
Yes, sir. Well, let me just say this. I'm proud to still be here, because when you was a little boy, I was playing a place in Washington, D.C. called the Carter Baron. You ever heard of it?
Yes, sir, baby.
What you know about Rock Creek Park, man? What's happening?
16th Street, baby.
Yes, sir. And much love and respect to the late, great Chuck Brown. We used to do a lot of shows with Chuck Brown. Also, special shouts out to Big Tony and those guys, man. Go Mickey and them, the Trouble Funk guys, man. Sugar Bear, EU and them. Man, I tell you, boy, back in the day, we used to come up there and play our music. And if you ain't had no go-go in y'all's neck of the woods, it didn't matter what you was playing, man. You might well just be quiet, because if it ain't,
you might as well pack it up and go home.
Go home, man. Go on back to Ohio, where you from, people.
Oh, you heard what George Clinton said.
What?
When you come to DC and you're a national act, and if one of them go-go bands get on stage, it's a rap.
Oh man, that happened to us when we was in Zapp and Roger. I mean, come on, man, one of the greatest shows in the world. And the Zapp band still has a fantastic show. The Bigg Robb show is fantastic. Man, we come to DC one time and played and messed around and played before EU, and the people was just sitting there looking at us. And we was like, man, what's wrong with these people? Like what's wrong? And I messed around and left something in the place and came back in there, and everybody, the same people, was bouncing off the walls, man. Sugar Bear in there. We couldn't move them, but boy, oh boy, that go-go is a bad thing, man. And I love it. I'm also a record label owner, man, and I got to give special shouts out to a lot of guys that came before me, and I learned a lot, man, from this guy from up there in you guys' neck of the woods, the late, great Max Kidd, you know?
Yeah,
man, he had that DETT Records, man. He had Trouble Funk and Slim and them. Don't touch that stereo. Oh my goodness, man.
Scorpio,
They paved the way for, black entrepreneurship.
Rob, let me ask you, man. What do you got coming up next? After this album, what do you got coming up? I know the pandemic has slowed a lot of us up. Have you did any live streaming? Like everybody else.
Well, man, to be honest, I've been blessed because we've been able to still go out and perform a lot. So in 2021, man, I just left El Dorado, Arkansas, Shreveport, Louisiana, Monroe, Louisiana, Jackson, Mississippi. So we're still out doing a lot of shows, social distancing and making sense of it. And I wanted to do a couple live things, and we're going to figure out how to do it. Of course, it's never as satisfying as being in the same room with people because I'm a people person, as you can tell, and I love to entertain. I got a closet full of costumes, and I want to wear them all on the stage. But I'm with the streaming thing. I mean, we did one thing. Me and Calvin Richardson, Sir Charles Jones, we did like a pay-per-view kind of thing where people could sit at home and just pay money and see it. But man, I love that stage. Of course, safety first, though.
Yeah.
So I hate to put you on the spot like this.
Man, go ahead. Ask me whatever you can ask me. I'm a grown ass man. I'm
about to say you just, but you seem like you don't give a damn. So if you had the choice to come back 2022 and DC put this big old show together, but you only had to choose one band and they gave you two choices: Trouble Funk or EU, who you rocking with on stage?
Oh, I got to rock with Big Tony and them, man. I got to rock with Big Tony and them. And the reason why I got to rock with them is because, as far as national acclaim and being able to take that music somewhere, they laid the groundwork. It's no disrespect to EU, you know what I'm saying? But they laid the groundwork. Now, let me say this, the groundwork that they laid on and the footsteps that they walked and out there and made in that dirt, EU was able to come along with it. And I know the true go-go heads might get mad at me, but which is the Butt really a 100% go-go record?
Say that again.
I said, is the Butt by EU, is that a 100% go-go record? Or what's my boy's junkyard band named Sardines?
Those are actually
straight 100. There's no question, right?
Yeah, those are actually straight go-go, and until you get into the Salt and Pepper and EU, that's rap and go-go.
Right. But I love them all. But yeah, I mean, I'm a Trouble Funk fan because I go back to days of pump me up.
We might have to take you out on
that. but you know what I mean. But I love EU too. It's your thing. Do what you want to do. I don't know, man. Maybe we can get Trouble Funk with Sugar Bear singing. Maybe let's do that.
I know he'll do it too.
Yeah, man. I need Sugar Bear on the new Bigg Robb record, man. Absolutely.
So for everybody watching, man, on Go Radio Live, on Partymode Live, on Twitch, on Facebook Live, wherever you at, Instagram, where it don't matter, we got the one and only Bigg Robb, capital B-I-G-G, capital R-O-B-B.
Yes, sir.
That fella can spell.
You better know.
It's called Fantastic. Please go download you some Bigg Robb records. So while you making love to your old lady or your old man on New Year's, you wake up the next morning, you can stand butt naked in the kitchen and party to Bigg Robb on New Year's Day, baby.
She said last night, me and my woman
cried together.
Oh, they cried together.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. And
then we made love.
Yeah. You better pull out. Hey, where can they find you on social media if you got one?
HeyBiggrobb. That's on Instagram. Biggrobb. Bigg Robb on Facebook. Make sure it's the guy that look like this, best looking fat man in show business. I also have a business where I sell popcorn, the best popcorn in the world. BIGGROBB snacks.com. And if you want to holler at me, I'm so crazy, I give out my phone number, 937-367-8650. It's a real phone. You need me to come do a show, 937-367-8650. The hell with all just that social media. Call me on the hotline. Let's talk some business, baby, old school style.
Okay. All right, now,
Yes,
one more
sir.
thing before you go. One more thing.
Yes.
We want to ask you to say this for us before you go. You're now tuned in to the party before the party, Partymode Live.
What's up, y'all? It's your man, the BIGGRBB, Bigg Robb. And guess what, baby? You now in tuned to the party before the party, Partymode Live. You know what it is.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
That's
Thanks,
Bigg Robb.
fellas.
Y'all
God
go
bless
check
y'all.
him out.
Happy New Year to
Appreciate
everybody.
you. And be safe, Bigg Robb.
Appreciate you.
Yes, sir. Salute. Take your blood pressure medicine, your sugar diabetes medicine, and get you some BIGGRBB. I love you.